We are Movie Menu Reviews, a real Hollywood podcast. On today's menu, we'll be doing a year in review of 2017 and Z's segment. Stay tuned. Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Muñoz, host of Movie Menu Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast. Live on Facebook on episode 175.
Whoa, we're so close to 200. And then we're done.
Yeah, no more.
No more.
Until next season.
Until next
This is our season finale. We will be on hiatus for a couple weeks, and we'll be back for Black Panther. But until then, let's go ahead and go into our year in review with some special people here, or some people. I don't know if they're special. But joining us is our special correspondent, or at least we know he's special, Rigo Espinoza.
Rigo!
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me again.
Well, you've been on the season long enough. I mean, I feel like you needed to come back for the year in review.
I know. We feel like we need a new title. Not special correspondent anymore, but like special correspondent.
Special sergeant correspondent.
No, not
chief operating correspondent.
Does he own the business now?
No. Well, it wouldn't be chief anything really.
Chief correspondent. That means eventually there will be other correspondents.
No.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone who is
How
also
about
here.
we just call him the intern? We just like
he's our intern. I do like that.
I like that, actually.
Okay.
But I won't get you guys no coffee. I'll tell you that right now.
You do have to get us horchata, though. So that's
I'm
one
okay
thing you
I'm
have
okay
to
with
get
that.
us.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah. Does that make me the intern?
You're also... No,
I guess could I be chief operating intern?
Yes, you can. That's who you are. Our chief operating intern is Mike. Mike
Chief
Stan.
operating intern. I like that.
Yeah.
And our chief operating jerk is Z.
Woo! Z's back!
Welcome back, Z.
Woo! I have missed it so much because I keep watching you guys and going like, you're doing it so wrong.
We are.
Yeah, I do love that. I think last week's episode, Dan was like Dan. Jesus never. Z always says that the movie cannot be good.
There's no such thing as a perfect movie.
There's no such thing as a perfect movie, and I was like, that's right. And I watched Jumanji into the jungle. No.
Yeah.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to
the
Welcome
jungle.
to the jungle.
And I agree with your review on that. That there were some issues with it, but it was actually a fun movie. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, Z's agreeing. It's a brand new year. So let's go ahead and go on to the brand new year. We're going to talk about our top picks of 2017, our most disappointing picks of 2017, and our number one most anticipated movie of the spring of 2018 that starts with Black Panther and ends with New Mutants.
Oh, yeah.
From February to April. So let's go ahead and start with our number 5 for top picks of 2017. Mike, I will let you... Actually, Rigo, as our special intern...
Special intern.
I'll let you go first as you bust out your notes.
Okay,
this is number 5.
I actually wrote notes, so
all right.
you just gotta keep in mind. I watched a lot of movies this year.
You did, and probably some on your list is something that we didn't even cover.
Yeah, so there was a lot of movies I wanted to put on the list. I'm not gonna mention them. I'm just gonna stick with these top 5.
Yeah,
these are the top 5 that represent me this year. As far as if somebody were
as
to
your growth, as your change, as you're becoming a human,
as I become a real boy,
as he's becoming a real critic. I feel
yes.
Like.
These are my personally. If somebody were to ask me, hey, I'm going to stay home this weekend, what 5 movies do you recommend I watch from 2017? Yeah. Okay, so my number 5 is Coco.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Oh, number 5.
All right.
Nice.
How come so low on the list for you?
Like I said, there was so much stuff. Yeah. Like I love Coco. I love the story. I love the music. Mm-hmm. I cried like a little girl throughout the whole movie. Mm-hmm. I know that's a bad reference, but I will just keep it there. But I enjoyed it. I just felt it wasn't the best movie, but it was definitely top 5 for me.
Z, go ahead with your number 5.
My number 5 is Andy Muschietti's It.
Wow.
For me, like that to have a horror in the top 5 like of the best of the last year is brilliant, and I think that It, while rehashing a film, right? So this is a remake, or it's completely new. He had a task and he was able to fulfill it. He was able to scare the pants out of a lot of families, which I enjoyed. And I thought that as far as Bill Skarsgård's portrayal of Pennywise the clown, it was just perfect, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, and he's actually directing the sequel now.
Awesome.
The deal has been through, and he's directing part 2.
Yeah.
And isn't he going to be in charge of the...
no, not him. The producer of it.
Oh,
the
he's
guy
going to be in charge of
the
the DC universe.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is It Comes at Night.
Interesting.
wow.
That was not on my
That's a
list
very
because of
choice.
my
yeah, well, I mean,
critique.
yeah. I know you kind of felt like it went astray in the very end, but I just really enjoyed it. I felt like it was a thoughtful horror film, and just and just with the atmosphere that was set up there, the acting was solid, so it was a great film all around.
Nice. My number 5 pick. It's might be higher, and some might not even be on your list, since for some of you, but it's Wonder Woman.
I didn't actually make it to my list, but it was a hard one to drop out of my list.
Yeah, it's the only great DC movie of the year, apparently. Though Justice League is fun, Wonder Woman is great, and it did such a great job with female empowerment. It's a very important film of this time.
Yeah,
and Gal Gadot had so much to overcome to be part of this film.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much haters. There was no superhero woman film will make any money. They took a risk. Patty Jenkins as well. Yeah. And it was successful. And now so much so that when they are doing part 2, they give Patty Jenkins more freedom. Gal Gadot, she owns the character.
Yeah.
And it's just, I look forward to what else we get from it.
But also Gadot was able to she's trying her best to restructure WB, because she's going I don't want Brett Ratner anywhere near this film. So that movie catapulted her from being an actress that's known to an actress that can actually move Hollywood.
Yeah, using her voice for the good.
So that was amazing.
She became a power player this
year.
She
really did. Yeah,
she did.
In 6 months, it was just an amazing feat and a good film. But I did have one issue with it afterwards, so that's something. But whatever. We're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, we're not talking about the issues.
Yeah.
Rigo, what's your number 4 pick?
My number 4 was Z's pick for number 5. It was It.
All right.
Again,
nice.
Just to quickly reiterate, fantastic story. The remake was done well with respect to the original, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good movie, and it was the most highest grossing film that's an R-rated film. So it did tackle box office, and especially on horror film that would make so much money.
Yeah.
So
and it's also hard to say that a horror movie that's popular is actually legitimately scary. That's hard to say, because I feel like most if you look at the Saw franchise, you look at all the other really crappy horror franchises out there, The Ring and whatever, they're not scary, but this one actually had that fear factor that actually did well with the audiences. So that's great.
All right.
Z, what's your number 4 pick?
My number 4 is one that got snubbed for the Golden Globes, and I'm hoping that it gets somewhat recognition at the Academy Awards. It's The Big Sick. I remember watching.
I just saw that the other day.
Yeah, and I remember watching this film, and I've watched it since repeatedly. Again, these are films that I have repeatedly watched. These are my top 5. I've watched them repeatedly, and The Big Sick holds up on second viewing, third viewing, and it's a true story, which is brilliant. And it's basically a docudrama comedy of Kamal Nanjiani's his life and him falling in love with a woman who he has to put into a coma. And that sounds like a terrible premise for a comedy, but it's such a good movie, and it's heartfelt. You walk away from it thinking that's how life usually is, pretty chaotic. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't believe that it hasn't been nominated for the Golden Globes. So. Yeah.
Do you think that has something to do with it being an Amazon film?
It has probably potential to.
This movie could have been nominated. There are Ebbing, 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri that's nominated for Best Comedy. I feel like this movie should have been taking that slot.
Well, we'll be doing the mini reviews later, but I disagree with that. Anyways, moving on.
Over The Big Sick? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think the Big Sick should be up there for sure.
All right,
Mike, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Get Out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which I feel like it, just like The Big Sick, it hasn't been appreciated. I mean, it's been getting a lot of general praise, but I think the fact that it was thrown in as a comedy nomination, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment for the Golden Globes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. So Yeah, it was a great debut film. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the director's next film, and
Jovan has a comment saying that
Sure.
Get Out was awesome.
Yeah.
yes, it was.
Completely agree with that. Yeah.
You know what? And in a way, it was kind of funny too. So
No, it had comedy.
You know?
Like you cannot listen. The great thing about good horror is that you end up laughing afterwards, and through the film, there are moments where it's. And that's the thing about Get Out, and it is on my list. It's my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Spoiler.
I know, spoiler. But if we're talking about it now,
Yeah.
it's that it's a social commentary film that uses the horror elements and the social commentary really well. And because of your discomfort, you laugh a lot, and I think that's what makes that film so good.
I think it's a backhanded.
Agreed.
I think it's a backhanded compliment towards Jordan Peele, though he himself.
Yeah, because he's a comedian.
Yeah,
and so they're like, they just put him in that slot.
Yeah, exactly. So they just pigeonholed this film as a comedy. It's almost like they didn't watch it. They just were like,
but
that's great things. Let's put it in there.
But that's just the Golden Globes. I mean, you can't take the Golden Globes so serious. They had the Tourist as the best comedy as well. And though it was a horrible movie,
that is true.
and that was laughable, it was not a comedy. And then they had the Matt Damon, I can't remember the space movie in Mars.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hey, that was a good.
That was not a comedy though.
No, it wasn't a comedy.
And it was this as a comedy.
Okay.
So you can only take it with a grain of salt.
And they have that circus movie this year, which I don't think should have been nominated at all.
The Greatest Showman.
Yeah,
I disagree.
only for best song.
I disagree with you on that,
but not for best comedy or musical. Even though it's a musical.
It's a musical.
It doesn't
totally
matter.
disagree with you.
They had to throw a musical in there.
Yeah.
No, it was.
We're not doing critiques. We're doing top 5.
So my number 4 pick. My number 4 pick is The Shape of Water.
Oh, okay.
Guillermo del Toro is back, and he did such a great job with this film. It's so whimsical. It's like a fairy tale, and it's like the visuals are stunning. I enjoyed the story, and then the characters themselves, individually, they are alone and separate and don't work, but together they make such an interesting story to tell, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually just saw it yesterday, and I couldn't agree with you more, Dan. It reminded me a lot of the director that directed Amelie and City of Lost Children. If you've never seen that one, but it has the same like gritty visuals, but is also very fantastical.
It's gritty, but very colorful at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it holds itself nicely in its own world. And by the end of it, you fall in love with all the I fell in love with all the characters and believed everything that happened. And
awesome.
I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
I need to watch that still.
Rigo, what's your number 3?
Number 3 is Baby Driver.
Oh, okay. This one lost out my top. Yeah, I didn't include it in there. Yeah.
I love the action. I love the music. I love what's his name, the main actor?
And Agor.
I loved him as a protagonist of the story.
Yeah.
That's. I don't want to talk about anybody else in that movie.
I was gonna say that's probably why I haven't rewatched the film. But yeah, go ahead.
But other than that, Asa Gonzalez and what's his name?
John Hamm
and Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx to me was really good in this movie.
Absolutely,
he played like the best villain. He was very. I hated him. Yeah. I wanted him to die real bad. So to me, when someone does something like that, like makes me emotionally care for you, either in a good way or bad way. You just did a good job.
I agree.
So that movie minus the person I'm not going to speak about.
That was the issue.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to get into that. But
let's move on.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Well, they should get Christopher Plummer to redo that.
You know what? If you can get what's his name, the director of that movie,
Edgar Wright.
No.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Ridley Scott. He can get it done in 9 days.
I say let's redo Baby Driver and make sure that it's solid.
Well, they're doing part 2, so
awesome. There you go, Christopher Plummer for everything.
Well, that's good because he's dead anyway. So
spoiler alert. Z, what's your number 3?
You dick.
It's been like 6 months already.
Rigo, just stop.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
My number 3 is I thought I was gonna hate it, but in fact I came off watching and saying this might just win the awards. The Disaster Artist. I have not seen The Room. We will go see The Room.
You have not.
Yeah, we have tickets.
we do have tickets to go see it. But when I was started watching it, I was like, I'm not gonna like it, because it starts off with a vignette of like several actors going like, oh, I wish I was on set, and I was like, this is already kind of blowing it out of proportion. I really don't care about that. But then it goes into the world that is Tommy Wiseau, and it's just so odd, but also, and I remember Dan's review, like, heartfelt, because you feel for the guy, because all he's trying to do is trying to prove to the world that he can do something that's meaningful. And at the end of it, it reminded me a lot of Nightcrawler in that, like, I kind of felt like I can do anything, because if Tommy can do it, then you should also be able to do it. And so it was an inspirational film. And I think from all of the Oscar contenders that we're talking about, I think it's the only movie that I walked out of going like, damn, that was good. So, yeah, it's The Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
Nice.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I'm sure we all have The Disaster Artist somewhere in our list, so we'll just go ahead and move on to Mike.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same as these.
High five. There you go. I couldn't see you.
Let me throw the football to you, Z. So, how's your love life? But, yeah, so it was a great... what I liked about that film too is just how it represented friendship and loyalty, and you see that in Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau, and how they've stuck with each other and through difficult times. So I really enjoyed it a lot. But that's my number 3.
Well, my number 3 has also been talked about, so we'll go ahead and talk about a little bit more. Is Get Out. Get Out's my number 3. I thought it was a great film, very important, very social commentary, and I'm happy it's getting some accolades. Hopefully, it continues to get some in the Oscars. And I guess that's all. We'll go ahead and talk about that.
At least a nomination.
Yeah, Rigo, what's your number 2 pick?
My number 2.
The problem with using paper.
Sorry.
Why are you hiding it?
No,
because I don't want to see my list.
Dude, I've got my list over here. I mean, like,
my number 2 movie is Dunkirk.
Oh, see, it's another one that I really couldn't fit in there.
The reason it was my number 2, just it's Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
The scenery, the way he directed it, just the intensity of the entire film, just the situations they were put in, the dogfight with Tom
Hardy.
Tom Hardy, Bane.
Yep.
Just when they're on the pier and the airplanes are like going over them and they're about to get shot down. Just it's really hard to describe all the stuff that happens in this movie, but just from start to end, it's just intensity.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
I feel like I haven't seen Dunkirk, so unfortunately, but I saw The Darkest Hour, and I feel like that would be a great companion piece.
I think that would probably be a good companion piece for sure. But the one issue for me with Dunkirk was the like, it was a great cinematic experience, and I don't think I can have that same experience at home. That was my one why I didn't go on my list, because I was like, oh man, I loved watching Dunkirk. If Dunkirk could be on in cinemas forever, I'd go watch it repeatedly, because it's so fucking intense.
Maybe like midnight.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be like a midnight IMAX screening, right?
Oh yeah, please, yeah. Like, even at that 4DX, that motherfucker, so that we can like feel the shakes when the bombs fall down.
Z, what's your number 2 pick?
Well, we've already talked about it, and I think it seems like it's a pretty good consensus that it's on the list. It's Get Out. Jordan Peele, Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams, Bradley Whitford. They were all fantastic in that film. Every part of that film, and it's funny because I saw an interview with Jordan Peele saying that
Kathleen Keener.
That yes, Kathleen Keener is also in Being John Malkovich, and that Jordan Peele does not dislike the idea that this could also be somewhat of a sequel to
that. That actually makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense.
So, anyways, the point is, this film is fun. This film is scary. This film is freaky as fuck, and every bit of it has a reason to be on camera. That's the part that really sold me on this film. Every little bit, to the point that the fact that the white folks are arriving in black SUVs and black, it's white people
it's also
trying
like
to be
mind blown.
It's
as well.
such a really like
or mind fuck, I should say.
Everything that Jordan Peele did with this film, and again, you're absolutely right, Mike. It should be way up higher on the Oscars list. Everything about this movie was intentional, and if Jordan Peele doesn't get a Best Director nomination, then the Oscars are not paying attention. Because he did a really good job in this,
right? Or it should just be advertised as a horror film. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. So I completely agree with you.
Mike, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Blade Runner.
No. Oh wow!
Oh okay.
Yeah, I loved. As far as writing, I thought it was an amazing sequel to. It's probably one of the few sequels where I felt like it was comparable to the first. And Denis Villeneuve, I just really like what he does. Ever since I had seen Arrival, I'd been just glued to everything that he's working on.
Well, even like his previous work, like Sicario, and
Sicario was great.
And though Jovan would disagree with that,
yeah, he hates that movie.
Yeah, he did.
But
he
also Prisoners was really good.
Yeah.
For me, he has not had like a miss.
I don't agree with that, but he is good and he's talented. I think he just needs a good editor. That's my big issue with Denny.
Disagree.
Yeah,
but I disagree. But moving on.
My number 2 is it's been talked about already as well. Is Disaster Artist. I thought it was such a great film. The chemistry between James Franco and Dave Franco are they're brothers, but they haven't been in a film together really.
That's also another thing. I completely forgot about that. You're right. They're brothers, and you don't at all feel.
Yeah, they feel like friends. They don't feel like family.
Yeah,
and just even though this is known as The Room is known as the most horrible film ever made. They did such a great job behind the scenes, as even though it's probably not 100% accurate, it's still like a great story to see the making of a film and how they did it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of inspiring as well, so I really enjoyed that part. And I wouldn't be surprised if James Franco wins Best Actor.
I completely agree with that. I think he should get it.
Didn't Tommy Wiseau say it was like 100% accurate or something?
Yeah,
no, he said it was like 50% accurate.
Oh,
50%. Yeah, 50 because it was
the movie or the book.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Go ahead, Rigo. What's your number 1 pick?
Okay, my number 1, of course, everybody's already talked about it.
Yeah.
Disaster Artist, number 1. For all the reasons you guys gave, but for me, the most important thing I took from that movie was if whatever you're trying to do, if all doors close, just break the wall down. Make your own door. Like, do your own thing.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody tells you.
James Dean was knocked down. He said he wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
That's a line from the movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, but seriously, it's very inspirational. I left that movie just kind of like,
I'm going to make a movie.
Inspired.
Yeah. That's why you've been on this show ever since. Just kidding.
I just been I wasn't inspired to do anything. I was just inspired in general.
No,
but
awesome.
I loved it. I hope Franco wins the Golden Globe tonight. I'm pretty sure he's a lock for that.
Oh, hopefully. I think so too.
But Oscars, I think he might win it. Although people are saying that Daniel Day-Lewis, his final performance, they might just give it to him. Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope Franco really gets it because he deserves it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Z, what's your number 1 pick?
My number 1 pick is it's an animation.
Interesting.
Coco. It was beautiful. It was well structured, and it was just thought-provoking and also culturally relevant. Everything about Coco, and I think Rigo said it. Yeah, it was like you can rewatch the movie and just cry all over again, knowing second time around what the song means. And so the fact that it's a movie about music and the way that music connects all of us and how memories work and who we really are is just who we remember and the people we've shared company with. It was just a poetic film, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I know it's coming out pretty soon, so everything about this film just screamed best animation, best film even. Like, it should also be up there. If it was in the best film category, I think this would win over Disaster Artist because it just did it right, and you cared about everyone on screen, and I think that is a hallmark of a very good film. So for me, Coco was amazing.
Now, do you think?
Wait. We have a comment. Frank Ruby just nominated. Just said Coco was a good movie.
Thank you. Not just a good movie, a fucking great movie.
Now, do you think it's going to be the first movie nominated other than what? Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast?
The only?
If we could get it up there, absolutely. I think that would be amazing.
I feel like best animated picture just trumps that, though. It does.
That's what I hate. Yeah, that's what I do hate. So if they could put it up there, that would be amazing. But we know that the Oscars are a bunch of,
and they got so many slots.
Bureaucrats.
Fill all those 10 slots this year, please.
Well, it's like a mathematical thing.
Yeah, I know. Don't explain that to me. Just put
I agree. I agree with you. Rigo, would you say that Coco should win over Disaster Artist?
Ooh. No.
Okay. All right.
No.
I was just wondering.
I'm like, that's your number 5 pick. I don't think you should say that.
But that's true. Yeah.
Mike, what's your number 1 pick?
My number 1 is also an animation, or I should say an anime. So it was released earlier this.
Ghost in the Shell.
No,
Yeah.
that's in the other.
I'm not
list.
Olaf's Christmas Adventure.
Yes. No. So its official U.S. release was early this year. It was Your Name.
Your Name. I know.
Yeah.
You've been talking about this film.
Yes, and I highly recommend seeing it if you haven't.
Yeah.
So it has I feel like other than calling it an anime, like it's a genre-less film, or there's so many different genres packed inside this film, and there's time travel, there's
body switching.
There's body switching, time travel, romance. I think you would enjoy this as well. I would say there's definitely rom-com in this.
That's the reason.
That's the reason for that's the reason why I recommend you see it specifically.
All right,
but this film it's definitely a heartfelt film, and it may be a tearjerker for you as well.
Okay.
So
I have some good news or bad news depending on how you see it, but they bought the rights and they want to do an American version of it.
I know
No!
So maybe people will see it.
the live action version will be on my other list. So that's how it's gonna work. But anyways, what's your number one, Dan?
My number one pick is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Suck it, Rigo.
You are joking. You are joking.
My God.
No, you are joking, right?
I am joking.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, there's no way that's on your number one.
It could be.
I'm
I-
surprised
it
it
would
wasn't in
not.
his top 5, though. I would have put it in my top 5 if there wasn't all these other great movies.
It's on my top 10 list, but my number one pick is actually Blade Runner 2049.
Oh wow.
Ah.
Okay, I did not expect that.
So that movie, I've been a fan of Blade Runner for a very long time, and I was interested because Denis Villeneuve was going to direct it, and I did not expect what I saw because it was mind-blowing, amazing. It's one of the great films. It's a Frosty Over a Collider talked about it being a masterpiece, and it is. It is a
Absolutely.
masterpiece. They don't make movies like this.
I agree.
And this movie, it's criminal that I didn't make more in the box office. It is a feat in cinema. It's an amazing film. It's a great story, great acted, and visually stunning. And it's gonna define what 2017 is. It's gonna be that film that we were able to create a movie like that.
I completely agree with you, and I feel like the script writing was amazing as well, and I feel like it didn't get enough praise because how respectful they were to I feel
To the lore of
to the lore, not only to the lore, but how much they respected the intelligence of the audience, where they didn't do a rehash, they actually
continued
built on
the story. Yeah.
and the whole plot, without spoiling it, is like almost like an inversion of the original, but they just did a great job with it.
Yes, I agree. All right, so that's our top picks of 2017. Whether you agree or not, let us know. Let's go ahead and discuss our top 5 most disappointing picks of 2017. And we'll start with Z on this one. Z, what's your number 5 pick for most disappointed film of 2017?
So it's funny. I was making this list, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a long list." And I realized that there were a lot of like ambivalent films that were released in 2017, but there were definitely 5 stinkers. There were 5 absolutely atrocious films. To start it off, I forget what the franchise Universal was trying to do. The monster,
the dark universe.
Dark universe, right?
They
Kong, skunk. Yeah, that's good enough.
Because it stinks.
Yeah,
right?
it stinks. Skunk Island, Skull Island was absolutely terrible.
No way.
Oh, come on,
No
man.
way.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about
I thought he was talking about the mummy.
Oh, I haven't seen the Mummy yet. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
No, the one you're talking about is the
Listen.
Monster Universe, and it's not Universal.
Oh, I'm sorry. But anyways, Kong Skull Island was absolutely
It was
bad.
not
It
that
was
bad.
It was a waste.
It was not.
Hey, whose list is this? Is it yours or mine?
Worst
Damn,
All right.
list ever.
So Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, John C. Reilly. I think John C. Reilly is the only good part of the film. John Goodman. There was a lot of great talent in this film. A lot of great
Of
talent.
the whole year? Go on.
Great talent. Great directing. Somewhat good director, somewhat good writer, and they were still not able to pull it out. Now I was thinking, listen, I agree with you guys, okay? My 5 pick, I was going to go Transformers. I was going to do something else. However, I was like, you know what? I'm going to add a name to the list, and this is it. This movie was bad, and everybody I've talked to since who's not listened to my warning of don't watch this film has come back and said, yeah, that was really bad. So with that being said, we all expect Transformers to be bad. I expected The Mummy to be bad. Yeah. This, I expected it to be good. And the list is disappointing, and this was a disappointment.
disagree. But
disagree.
Go on, Mike. What's your number 5 pick?
See,
Well, you liked it? Sorry.
there was a battle like when we actually reviewed it on the podcast
Yeah.
as well. So,
okay, fair enough.
so it is. I don't know. Yeah. But I guess as expected, I did choose the cheap shot movie, 50 Shades Darker, just because I saw it.
That's why I did. That's why I didn't want to add that. I was like, no, it's gonna be something different.
And because I needed 5 movies on my list.
But did you enjoy it?
What's that?
Did you enjoy it?
No,
Are you going to see
you?
50 Shades Free?
Read, yeah.
Yes, we're gonna make him watch it.
Yeah, whatever. I'll watch whatever. That's my number 5. I don't know if there needs to be an explanation.
No,
really.
it's
It's
good.
There has to be. I know why it was bad. It's because somebody who gets in a helicopter crash and then wants to have sex 30 seconds later.
Is it because
I haven't seen the film? So spoiler.
Yeah, Rigo, shut up, dude. Good grief, man! You keep spoiling every film.
It is a spoiler, but who cares? Does
Yeah,
anyone
that's
care?
true. I was being sarcastic.
The only people that are going to see it are like typically the people that like read the book already, so they already know what's going to happen.
Sure,
anyway,
fair enough. Unless it deviated, we have no idea. Have you read the book? I haven't read the book.
No, but you know what?
I'm just messing with you guys.
I talked to somebody who read the book, and she was very upset about that
Really?
scene too. Yeah, she was mad as hell. So,
wow, that's interesting.
so like,
okay, I'm curious.
Your point is valid for being a bad movie.
All right.
My number 5 pick is actually a movie that was disappointing because I really liked the movies that came before it.
Star Wars.
This is a third movie.
Star Wars.
Fuck you. No, it's actually Pitch Perfect 3.
Oh, okay. You just recently saw this.
I just saw it.
That's what Joe and Rigo said as well.
Yeah, and I can see why Joe wanted to give it a leftovers.
You guys should have given it a
It
leftovers.
should have been a leftovers.
No, we have more respect for Anna Kendrick.
That's where
than
I
that.
was entirely. She's made bad movies.
Have you seen it?
No, but I'm saying
Okay,
like
well, then don't talk until you say it. No, you can't say it until you see it.
I'm just saying you cannot give it like a pass because you like one actor.
You could do whatever you want. It's your own decision. You don't want to see Kong Skull Island, which is bullshit to me. But that's your opinion. And I'll let you have it.
I saw Kong, so that's why I hate it.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want unless you watch it.
Moving on.
But I get the point though. If it was a different actress, you would have just given it a leftovers. In the same way you would see films where like some people who enjoy the special effects of Transformers. They'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Pitch Perfect 3 disappointment from it's not that good at all. It's really pointless. You really don't have to see it.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
On your top 5 worst or most disappointing.
This was disappointing.
Yeah.
Rigo.
Okay.
What's your number 5?
Just remember, I did watch a lot of movies this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was like the hardest category to come up with top 5 because there was more than 5.
There were a lot of bad movies last year.
But my number 5 is Geostorm.
Did we see that?
I saw Geostorm.
We didn't review that, right?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
That's
I wanted to see
Eugenio Derbez, right?
Yeah, Eugenio Derbez and Gerard Butler, which I think now that I see Gerard Butler in a movie.
Wait, don't ruin the segment yet.
I'm not ruining no segment, but I'm just telling you, you should know better by now. He's only done 300.
Hey, no. He did. Was it one with the White House? Was it White House?
White House Down.
Olympus Has Fallen.
That one was actually kind of funny to watch.
The first one was cool. The second one,
the second one was pretty bad. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like he's known for something.
But still, like Geostorm, that was a pretty cool concept. I know it came out at a bad time where the country was going through a lot of like natural disasters. But still, you have a movie like that, just make it what it's supposed to be. It was supposed to be a popcorn movie.
Yeah, that movie was on hold for 2 years before it was released.
It couldn't even be that.
Yep. It was a terrible movie off the bat.
Z, what's your number 4 pick?
Number 4 pick is a film that you, Dan, had asked for us to review, and boy, did I not forget. I did not forget one bit. Gore Verbinski is an absolute terrorist in cinema. He did A Cure for Wellness.
Visually stunning.
It is absolute garbage. It was. I remember I was making the list.
Disagree again.
Oh, how could you?
No, that movie sucked.
Atrocious.
It was visually beautiful.
Atrocious, and it was absolutely a waste of time. It gets to the point where like everything's getting revealed, and I was like, this is what you came up with. A 5-year-old could have come up with a better story idea.
Disagree.
Yeah, I love that we're getting louder as the picks get higher.
Mike,
maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Mike, what's your number 4 pick?
What you thought Z's number 5 pick was, which was The Mummy. I was like, oh, this is gonna be another fun movie like Edge of Tomorrow. No, it's not.
No.
So yeah, The Mummy, big stinker, big disappointment, huge cast, and what happened? I don't know.
That's actually my number 4 as well.
Yeah,
The Mummy.
all right.
I was actually excited for this film because I want to see the Monster Universe back again. I was a little concerned because they talked about it being more of an action franchise opposed to a horror franchise, which I thought was the biggest mistake ever. But
Agreed.
you know, I enjoy Tom Cruise in films. I really like Mission Impossible, the franchise.
You do. You're probably the only one.
Except that it makes billions of dollars, millions of dollars. So I was kind of excited for it, even though the trailer was so funny. And I actually like Sofia Boutella, and I thought that was great that it was a female mummy. So I had some hope for it.
Yeah.
And what we got was shit. It was so bad. So much so that they basically canceled the Dark Universe now.
Thank goodness.
Well, that's what I thought, but I see an untitled new film next year. I'm not sure if I'm getting that mixed up.
It's supposed to be the Bride of Frankenstein, but the Alex Kurtzman and the other guy who's producing the whole franchise, they jumped ship.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
They are no longer producing anything.
Good.
So
Kurtzman's smarter than that. Yeah.
Got it. So it's shown as slated, but there's no title. There's nothing there.
Okay.
So
yeah,
who knows?
I mean, they haven't come out officially saying that it's canceled, but I mean, there's no talks anymore.
Got it.
Go ahead, Rigo. What's your number 4 pick?
It is also The Mummy.
Ah.
I just thought it was terrible. There was like no story to it. I get it. You're setting up the monster universe, but how about you tell a significant story before you try to go forward with everything else? Mm-hmm. Like, I thought it was dumb just to add a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yep.
It just made the whole thing made no sense to me. Other than you're right, the female mummy, she was really cool. Maybe they should feed off that and make just an actual mummy movie with her.
Yeah. But also you could do horror with this genre. You can actually play into it really well, but I heard
they did they messed up.
That's
with
what
the whole,
it should have just been a horror film starring Sofia Boutella. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been.
Right.
But so my
Z.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Z's number 3 pick.
Here we go. It's okay. It's all right. My number 3 pick it's reflective of the year we had. It being up there as my top best film, but then another Stephen King film being in my top 5 worst films.
I remember. Yeah.
It was such a disappointment to watch this. The Dark Tower. Because for me, The Dark Tower, the book itself, is a quintessential. It connects all the Stephen King lore, and it just was garbage. It was absolutely a clusterfuck of information. They weren't able to really kind of give you the story of Roland Emmerich. Roland Deschain.
Emmerich is
Emmerich's the director. Yeah, but Roland Deschain. And like that's like I people got up in arms with it when it was Idris Elba announced, and I was like, no, that's perfect. But the fact that it's Idris Elba, a great actor, and they just weren't able to put a good script together, that is what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, that should have been an easy one. Just copy the book. That's all you got to do.
I remember how heartbroken you were too. I was disappointed for you.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of somebody making The Stand and not being able to do it right. Like, it's like if you do a Stephen King book that you know it's actually really good because a lot of fans enjoy it. There's a reason why we enjoy it, and then the fact that they just added bullshit layers to it was just that was bad.
Got you.
Yeah. Mike, what's your number 3 pick? Most disappointing film.
So my number 3 pick. So it was. I had never seen any of the previous films in the franchise, so this was my introduction to it. So I was looking forward to seeing what it was all about. It was Jigsaw. So
okay.
I was like, I thought you. I was like, I think I was the only one.
The first movie.
Yeah, the first Saw is the best.
It is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but I didn't think it would have like fallen so far from the first, So I was like disappointed with that.
Yeah, I actually saw those recently, and it's like the first one is great, and then after that, the production value like turns into like a lifetime like TV movie till you get to Jigsaw.
Should it have starred Will Ferrell?
Maybe that would have been better.
Yeah. My number 3 pick. I was actually excited for this film, and I was like, oh, good, they're bringing it back to basics, and this is what they need. This is what this movie needs, and it ended up being like stupid. I don't know. It's Alien Covenant.
Oh,
I was so disappointed.
I was
they ruined the lore.
I was gonna add that too, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna add. It's not gonna be. In the
they ruined the lore of the Xenomorphs.
Yep, they did.
They tried to go ahead and create this man versus nature. and creation. It was just make it a fucking horror movie with xenomorphs, and it just would have been great. And it wasn't. They did not bring it back to basics like they were going to. You thought Ridley Scott was going to do a great job. And, I mean, if it wasn't for All the Money in the World, I would have said just Ridley Scott just stop directing altogether, because his past movies have been horrible. Though All the Money in the World was a good movie, but this Alien Covenant was terrible. It was one of the worst movies. And I think it was so disappointing.
Yeah, I think it has more to do with him directing his own scripts. Those are the ones that are terrible. It's when he directs scripts that are not his own that he makes good movies.
And he made a comment recently saying that, I don't understand why Aliens franchise is not on par with Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans. It should be that big. Have you watched your movies? Like, you are insane if you think that.
I think that the first three are on par with the Star Wars.
Not the first three, the first two.
No, first three.
Everyone hates part 3.
I love it.
I enjoyed it.
Well, but
I understand.
Everything after that, yeah.
All right.
Okay, Rigo, what's your number 3 pick?
My number 3 pick is Rough Night with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, I was going to watch it.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, I watched that, and like I think 2 weeks later I watched Girls Trip, and I was like, yeah, that other movie was terrible.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
So Rough Night, the cast was cool. They were not funny at all. The story was not very believable to me, which I know it's not supposed to be, but still, like the jokes were horrendous at best. I just didn't enjoy it. I wasted like an hour and 45 minutes of my life.
Rigo, I'm sorry. Z, what's your number 2 pick?
Speaking of wasting time, my number 2 is a 2, right? My number 2 pick I thought would be an interesting movie. I was like, all right, this might be good. But then I was watching it and I was like, like when you're watching a movie 20 minutes in, you're like, I really hate this movie. But maybe they'll turn it around. And then 20 minutes later, you're like, no, I'm really hating this movie. And by the time I walked out, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I watched. The Snowman.
You know what? I didn't see that one. Thank God.
What's his name? Mr. Butthole or something? Or
Harry Hole. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. The Tale of Harry Hole. The only thing that got me through that film was all the Harry Hole jokes that they were not doing intentionally. And it was just such a mess.
I'm so happy I didn't see that movie.
And you know what the worst part was? That they ran out of money while filming it, and then they still released it. Like, guys, like, just take the I forget if they can apply for like a reimbursement or some shit. Like, just don't release this film. Put it straight to DVD. No one's gonna care. But the fact that it was released in theaters, that was just a disappointment. So yeah, it was really bad. Don't watch it.
Mike, what's your number?
My number 2 is Life.
Oh, that's a good choice. Yeah. I don't know why that's not on my list, but that's
I was like, all right, like finally a fun like alien movie. No, it's like a flying flower.
It's like a flying
eats you.
That eats you, right?
That was so predictable. Oh my god, the ending, you just know what's gonna happen, and you didn't. I don't know.
It was good cast, good acting, bad
execution.
Bad execution. It's so disappointing.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that's not on my list.
What's your number 2, Dan?
My number 2 is it's very controversial, and I'm actually surprised it's not any of your top film of the 2017. Is Logan.
Oh my God!
Disappointed in Logan.
Oh, Dan.
God damn it! It should have been Star Wars. What are you talking about?
No,
number 2.
Logan. I had so. It was rated R, and this is like, oh great, this is the Logan we're gonna get. This is what I want for sure. And what the fuck was that? It was
we got the Logan we wanted.
No, we didn't.
What are you talking
about? No, we didn't. It was disappointing as fuck. Did not like the performances. I felt like they took the characters away from what they should have been.
No comment.
And it was disappointing.
Such a no comment on that.
Dude, that's like weak sauce, man. If you thought Logan was bad, then you have to think Star Wars is bad.
I agree. I agree. Oh, I completely agree with
Star
you.
Wars was. I'm not saying Star Wars was bad, but I'm saying Logan was way better than Star Wars.
It was not way better than Star Wars. I did not get pissed in the movie theater watching Star Wars.
Wait, did you get?
As they did for Logan.
Did you get pissed on at watching Logan?
Pissed off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I heard pissed on. I was like, yeah, I'd be mad too.
Yeah, you would be. No, you wouldn't. You would like it.
R. Kelly song singing.
Rigo, what's your number 2?
Okay, my number 2. From the exception of watching a trailer for this, I thought it was like a fan-made trailer. Like, is this real? Is this a joke? It's All Eyes on Me with Tupac.
Is that really disappointing, though?
It's terrible.
No, I mean, like, were you really going in thinking it was going to be a good movie?
I already knew it was going to be shit.
Okay.
And I knew it was going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Against the list,
but it was but it was worse than your normal expectation because you were like, it's going to be shit, but it was worse than shit.
It was like chorro shit. Like,
Diarrhea.
I
for
get
those
it. You
not-
made the movie because you were gonna lose the rights to the songs, but come on, man, like do a better job and show more respect to the person you're making a film of. No, like we say, like the Disaster Artist, Tommy Wiseau said 50% of it was true. With this one, I believe like 1% is true.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like nothing in this movie made a lot of sense. Every person involved already came out and discredited the whole movie. It was bad. Yeah. It was terrible.
D, what's your number one pick?
All right, mine is not a movie, but it was a disappointment. Only in that I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I was like,
"Is it Olaf?"
It is Olaf.
I knew it. I knew it.
It is Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
Yes.
Why was this in theaters?
Yes.
Why was this in theaters? I wanted to watch Coco, and I instead got 20 minutes of this bullshit. And I don't think, and everybody in the theater, I remember everybody in the theater looking around going, did we get into the wrong theater? Like, what is wrong? Like, what? And then the movie stops, and you're like, oh, now we have to watch another movie. And you're so traumatized by the first one that you're like, I don't think I'm going to get into Coco. But luckily, Coco being my number one, you know, it was still very good, thank goodness. But Olaf's Frozen Adventure, what the fuck is wrong with you, Disney? That was a terrible
I almost picked that as my number one too.
Yeah, no, it is up there. It was garbage. Moving on.
I think it counts.
I know. I'm counting it.
You know it's gonna be nominated for best short
Razzies.
I wonder if it was strategy. Follow like do a completely horrible film followed by a really good film.
I think they put it on there because they're advertising for the next Frozen movie. But whoever did that is gonna get fired or should be fired.
Should be fired. Absolutely.
Maybe I just gave them too much credit.
No, dude, it was bad.
Mike, what's your number one?
Yeah,
my number one. I'm a huge fan of the franchise. It was Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I actually have the poster up still.
Yeah, you jackass. I mean, it's a cool poster, but
even though it's my number one, so I just exactly what you were mentioning about the Dark Tower. Like all they needed to do was just look into what already existed. They didn't have to start tweaking the storyline or the plot or anything like that. They had it all laid out. There's like if they would have bothered to just research it, they would see why people love it. I feel like they just missed so much of what was originally in the anime, and it was a huge disappointment for me.
Yeah.
Now, this movie, my number one, is I was really anticipating it. No, it's not Star Wars.
Damn it.
This is one of my favorite directors, and the movie had somewhat of a decent cast, though the lead actress has been known to phone it in lately. And I was like, oh, interesting to see this. And then when I saw it, it was avant-garde, clusterfuck of a film.
I don't know which movie this is.
Mother!
Oh,
so disappointed with Mother.
Okay.
Darren Aronofsky is, one of those great filmmakers, and it's, the film itself, and he wrote it, and they actually gave him the chance to make this film, and I'm sure the studio was like, what the fuck did we do?
Yep.
The movie was horrible. It was such a horrible movie, and so disappointing. After the last great movies that Darren Aronofsky has done, I don't know.
Noah?
Noah was great.
It was okay.
It was good. Yeah. Rigo, what's your number one?
My number one is the worst movie ever. Don't ever watch this movie unless you're like super drunk. I'm gonna go with Chips.
I don't think anyone's gonna see that movie.
Yeah.
This movie was
it disappointing though? I feel like you again know you're walking into a bad film.
You know what? I kind of was looking forward to this. It has Michael Pena and Dax. Those two guys have been in some pretty funny movies, and they're both really cool guys.
Okay.
But, I thought, maybe it's going to be like a Jump Street knockoff, but, they'll probably do a good job. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Yeah.
D, what's your number one?
Oh, I already did.
Is that it?
We're done.
Oh, okay. So that's it for
more anticipated film now. Yeah.
That's it for our most disappointing film of 2017. Let's go ahead and talk about our most anticipated film. Just one film from 2018, from February to April.
Nice.
Mike, I'll let you go first.
All right. My most anticipated for next season is Annihilation.
Alex
Garland director.
I'll break it in right now too. That's my list too. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I love everything he's doing. So.
Yeah, Alex Garland is just a genius. He did Ex Machina. That was amazing. The fact that he's teaming up with Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac, amazing. And the trailer hasn't given anything away. And that's exactly what kind of movie I want to walk into.
Yeah,
so I agree with you.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac back again.
Yeah,
from Ex Machina, and all right. I guess that's your number one.
That's this corner over here. Yeah.
Okay, my number one most anticipated is actually Black Panther.
Okay.
I'm so excited for that film. I've been excited for Black Panther when the MCU started, because we always wanted to see Wakanda and how they depict it. And it seems, Ryan Coogler is directing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's such a fantastic director.
Yep.
And I just feel like this is just going to add, more to the MCU, and I'm so excited for it.
Now, let me ask you something. Would you prefer to see a final cut or the 4-hour cut that they have right now, as far as like released?
There's a 4-hour cut. I'll watch the 4-hour cut.
Yeah.
They're right now the movie they have done the cut and it's 4 hours long.
Damn.
So they're gonna
Show it.
They're probably gonna have to cut.
If it's Ryan Coogler directing, then yes, I would want to watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Rigo, what's your?
I knew you guys were gonna pick that one, and I kind of knew Dan was gonna pick Black Panther, so I went a little bit different. I'm gonna say Death Wish. That's my
really.
That's what I'm
Bruce Willis.
Oh,
Bruce
that
Willis.
looks so bad.
I'm surprised you didn't. I'm surprised you didn't pick Ready Player One.
No, I was gonna pick that and Tomb Raider, but I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna stay away from
Tomb
video
Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, yeah. Tomb Raider is entirely different. That's a.
She writes a tune.
Looking forward to that.
You know what? You know what? I enjoyed the original Death Wish movies with Charles Bronson.
Yeah,
So I want to see
Okay.
what Bruce Willis has to add to this character and to this movie.
All right.
I know it sucks, but yeah, whatever.
Hey, keeping an open mind, Rigo. That's good.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so then we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is Z segment. But
Z
and in Z segment, before we started, we will announce who the winner of the past season is. So stay tuned for that as
All
we
right.
go. Movie menu. All right, so I'm going to toss it over to Mike as he did the tally for the winner of the past season.
I did.
Or should we do Z segment first and then announce the winner?
Well, we could do the tally now if you guys like.
Okay, Mike,
Sure, yeah.
take it away. Who
All
won?
All right. So
We should have
points.
drums. We should have drumming.
Don't hit the.
Don't hit the table. Yeah.
so since Rigo's here, Rigo has 4 points.
Oh, I have points.
Yeah,
Dude,
you got 4 of them.
You got points.
Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
Rigo, you give them away.
Wait, I want to see what the point total is.
Tied for second is actually me and Z.
Whoa, how many points?
5 points?
The 6. That's a good guess.
Oh, dude, that's not bad. I thought I had
Yeah.
much less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many points do I have?
You got 11. You basically got a point every episode.
Surprise!
No. That's not a surprise. We wanted you to be tortured by the idea of having a segment. So
Well, I basically came up with this segment, so
that's true.
for you.
That is true. I stole it
I'm
from
okay
you.
with having coming up with segments.
Yeah.
So Dan's the official winner of this season.
There you go. You official winner, but also loser of the year.
Sure. Yeah. You
No,
gotta
I'm
think of
fine.
this. Yeah.
I'm fine with taking the segments.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, no, I'm not. Damn it.
So Dan's the king.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
As
points.
always.
Yeah.
So now let's go ahead and crown the queen, who won this season. Go ahead, Z. Go talk about your segment.
You are a motherfucker is what you are. All right, so my segment, and I'm glad Rigo's here because yes, I did steal this idea from Dan, but in fact, Dan accidentally stole this idea from somebody. Actually, no, it was a picture you sent around, and that's where we got it. But in fact, it's something from another show that I've listened to called the Mark Kermode Review, and so this one's called the Mark Strong Butt Game, which is it's a movie in which you know that for a fact one actor in there is not good. But we're going to change it up. We're going to make it so that one actor that tells you the movie is going to suck. The movie, as soon as you see the trailer and you're like, so far so good. But as soon as you see this one actor's name appear or their face appear, you're like, oh, that's not going to be good. So that's the premise of this segment. I would like
also listing a couple of their movies, right? Just
please.
To prove
Right.
that they are.
Yeah. What I would like to see is their claim to fame, and by that I mean the movie that you saw that just ruined your experience, and you were like, okay, this is not going well, and then all the other repeated offenses that they've done to cinema. So who would like to go first? Who?
Z, use your segment.
Oh, sure. It's my segment, so then I'll hit it up first. My actor is Malene Ackerman. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. She ruined Watchmen, The Watchmen. I
think a lot of things ruin Watchmen.
A lot of things ruin Watchmen. One of them being
I mean Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder for sure being one of them. But I think that you can actually stop the film as soon as Malene Ackerman walks on screen and delivers her first line, because she was just awful. And then afterwards, I was like, no, it can't be that. So I watched other films that she's been in. And some of them include, 27 Dresses, which was really bad, The Heartbreak Kid, god-awful, Couples Retreat, Rock of Ages, and I haven't seen The Final Girls, but I imagine it's not going to be any good.
Actually, The Final Girls is pretty good.
With Malene Ackerman?
Yeah. She played the mom.
I would hope so. I will give it a shot, but I don't want to because she's the worst. So that's my pick as the actress that I know for a fact is going to ruin a film.
Yeah, I can see it.
Who would like to go next?
Mike?
Sure. So I really enjoyed this this actor in his previous films, and from Steve Jobs was the last film I saw of him where I was like, yeah. And then, Assassin's Creed was the end for me when I saw him, and that's Michael Fassbender. So Assassin's Creed, and then the trailer to Snowman. I don't know.
Snowman was so bad.
I'm still gonna see it, but I'm taking your word for it, Z, about it.
Also, he did X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah,
he was good in it, but the movie itself.
And
he also did Alien Covenant. He also did Alien Covenant.
That's what I'm saying. Like.
Yeah, his best movies have not been.
No, I agree with you on that. I feel like he's been in a really bad state just lately. Like he's just not picking the good ones.
Yeah.
Fire your agent.
Yeah.
Yep. Get a new one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I went on an easy one.
Yeah, Dan?
It was easy to pick Adam Sandler. That's not my pick.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that's too easy
because
we know he's
bad.
Intentionally
but actually,
terrible.
he has some really good movies. So I can't pick him. I just saw the Marwester Stories on Netflix a couple days ago. I actually enjoyed it. So I wanted to go with Kevin James, but that's another obvious one. So I just switched it up because I told you guys, and I picked
you did.
I picked Leslie Mann.
Okay. Which, by the way, what? No, she makes good movies.
Yes, she does.
She doesn't. She's a terrible. She's always plays. She plays herself.
She does. She plays herself.
She's a bad actor.
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything.
No, I wouldn't say that.
How to Be Single, Vacation, The Other Woman,
yep.
The Bling Ring, This Is 40. She was annoying in that movie. I had liked her. The one movie that I did enjoy her in was Big Daddy. I thought she played, she was funny in that. Knocked Up, she was good as a side character, and now that she tries to play more of a lead woman.
The 40-year-old version was good. She was fucking hilarious in that.
Yeah, how long ago did that come out?
That was a while ago. Yeah, that was a while ago.
That's over 10 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, her last movies that have come out have not been good at all.
Now, when you see her name, just be mentioned as and
I'm like, oh, is Judd Apatow directing the movie? That's my first thing that
your first thought is is Judd Apatow?
It must be directed by Judd Apatow.
Yeah,
got it.
Or produced by him.
Produced for sure.
That's because that's how she has a career is because of him.
Yeah,
and she adds nothing to the movie. You could just swap it out with a different actress, and it would be okay. It would be the same.
Got it. All right. Throwing a curveball at us.
Yeah, sorry. yeah. I just mentioned it at pre-production. I was like, what about this? And I just been looking at her. Yeah. So go on. Rigo, what's your number one?
I can't really even pronounce his name. Taylor
Kitsch.
Taylor Kitsch.
Yep.
He's come out in several crappy movies like John Carter of Mars.
Oh, yeah.
Battleship. He did that one, oh my God, where he was like a drug dealer with the other guy. With the guy from Kick-Ass. I keep forgetting the name of that film.
Is Salma Hayek in that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it was directed
Savages.
by Oliver Stone.
Savages. There you go.
Oh, okay.
It's just
he was in Lone Survivor, which was really not my favorite pick either.
I get what you're saying.
Look at
he was in Only the Brave.
He was
really good in Only the Brave.
X-Men Origins Wolverine as Gambit.
Yeah, see, there you go. This guy I haven't seen him in a really good movie ever. So
watch Only the Brave, but that's it.
Whenever I see, I'll watch that. But whenever I see his name anywhere near a film, I'm like, crap.
He's going to be in the Waco TV show, and I'm like, I kind of want to see that, but at the same time,
the problem.
You know what they say that he does a lot better on TV. He's really good. I think he was in Friday Night Lights or something like that.
And he was also in True Detective, which I heard he was pretty decent in that.
Yeah, so he's more of a TV.
But the problem with Taylor Kitsch is also the problem with Jai Courtney is that, and also the problem with the guy who was in Avatar, the lead guy. the studio tries to push him as a lead person,
Yeah,
and they're just not a leading person. They do better as side characters.
Yeah.
Like Jai Courtney was really good. I forgot what movie it was, but he was good as a side character.
He was good in Suicide Squad. That was probably like a no.
Yeah,
like it was not a good film, but
he was not
good
a lead in that. And then this guy was good as only the lead, but he was not the lead. He was like a side character.
Yeah.
And I feel like that person, like they need to just make them sides. Stop making these people fetch. Fetch is not going to happen.
What the hell?
They should make Leslie Mann a leading person, and then you probably like her because she's constantly a side character.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Stop making her the love interest.
But I will say though, I almost came close to saying Will Smith because
Really?
That's okay. Did you see Bright?
I saw Bright.
I like
What
Bright.
did you
No,
think of
that Bright, that orc movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no interest.
Oh,
in
I
it.
liked it. I thought it was okay.
You
Like,
saw-
yeah, well, I mean, it was a Netflix movie. It was exactly what I needed to be.
But if this movie was released in theaters and you paid $15 to watch it,
That's a good
would
point.
you be like, "Oh yeah, this was fucking"?
No, I would say watch it on Netflix.
so it's built in to be a takeout already, right? Is what
Yeah,
you're saying?
exactly. Yeah, no, and it's directed by the same guy who did Suicide Squad, so it actually kind of
David Ayer.
David
Yeah,
Ayer,
David
yeah.
Ayer,
And so it
yeah.
actually was a better movie than Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was unwatchable.
But it's also written by Max Landis, so he's,
Yeah.
he's out there.
For sure. Yeah, so it was actually an interesting film. Give it a chance.
I will. But I'm just saying, every time I see Will Smith's name on the marquee now,
You didn't like Hitch. You didn't like
Hitch.
I like
That's an old movie.
Concussion.
Yeah.
Concussion was good. I like Concussion.
Concussion. Oh yeah, Concussion was all right.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But what about that one he did with his son? Well, you know what, Jaden? Let's throw Jaden Smith in there.
Oh, for sure, Jaden
yeah,
Smith.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's
without
Jaden
a
Smith.
doubt. Yeah.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's when he makes films with his son that it's just terrible.
Oh, you're talking about the
Got you.
one, not the one.
Oblivion.
Oblivion. I thought you were talking about the one where he was.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, that one was good. I like that one.
I'm just cranking out names.
Yeah,
titles.
you're well
I-
done.
The
Yeah, yeah.
space movie.
He
The
wasn't
space
in
movie.
Oblivion.
No, he was not. That was Tom
Oh,
Cruise.
that
and
was
Morgan
Tom Cruise.
Freeman.
No, but it was
Earth. Something.
Yeah.
It was the M. Night movie
it was
before
the
before
Night.
M. Night
Yeah.
found his way.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Before he went to Blumhouse.
You're absolutely right
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. All right.
Earth 2 or something. I forgot.
Yeah,
about
it was Earth
No.
something.
But
Yeah, it
anyways,
was. It was.
that's
yeah.
that's
That
the
was
end of
a
my
sucky
segment.
movie. That's what it was.
All right, Dan. Back to you. That's the end of my segment.
All right.
So that would do it for us here at Movie Menu Reviews.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and talked about our top picks of 2017, our most disappointing picks of 2017, and our one most anticipated film of 2018, and also talked about one of the worst actors. So go ahead and let us know your thoughts and what your top picks are, worst picks are, and most anticipated, and which actor you hate and ruins a movie once you see that their name is on there. Let us know. We want to hear it from you guys. After Earth, that's the name of it.
There you go. You got it, Dan.
Thank goodness.
I know.
Dan-
I
Dan
thought it
with
was
the memory.
Olaf's Christmas Adventure.
Will Smith was in there.
That movie
Frozen's-
wasn't that bad.
Frozen's
It was-
Adventure.
it was bad. It was
Frozen
terrible.
Adventure. Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much, Rigo, for being on the show.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Z.
Thank you.
Yes, he's back.
I'm
Woo!
back.
And he's going on vacation again.
And I'm going on vacation again.
Thank you, Mike, so much.
Involuntary vacation, but yeah.
Thank you, Mike, for being on the show as well.
Hi, Mike.
You're very
Dan
welcome.
the Man. We will be on hiatus for the next couple of weeks. We will be back for Black Panther, but we will have some content released anyways. So, did you want to say something, Mike?
No, I was just about to say what you already said. So
Olaf is a Christmas tradition. There, I said it.
Rigo, you're off the show. Okay.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, and until next time,
yeah. Stay tuned for our content
Yes.
throughout our vacation.
we will have content.